bit more what you mean by the story you tell with making the piece or making the art.
Yeah. So there's this famous example I always give. This I think he's an Italian artist, and he has this series of sculptures that don't exist, right? So it's literally just he will tape up a little piece of the pavement and say, "There's a sculpture here. It's up to you to imagine what it looks like."
Yeah.
And that little piece of pavement you would have taped up is then cut up and sold. And people then display that little piece of pavement in their house and say, I just bought this for 2 million euros.
Yeah.
And, it's so arbitrary and so, but the point of it is, the reason he's able to sell these pieces of imaginary sculptures for millions is because he has built himself up as a brand, as an artist, and he's also built a story around the concept of art, around the concept of that series, right? Because it's all how you perceive it and what you want it to be. In the same way, an abstract painting is up to interpretation, whoever's looking at it. In the same way, his imaginary sculptures, it's up to imagine what it looks like in the form it takes. So yeah, it's really about storytelling at the end of the day. Like, we can all use Midjourney and ChatGPT to create stuff, but can you build a story around the art you're creating, and can you package that in a way that's compelling? And so yeah, I feel like that's an important aspect of it.
That's fascinating. Like, yeah, this was something I really wanted to ask you about, was when it suddenly becomes easy for people to create all this art. There's just like, I mean, I saw you gave a presentation the other day on like how to write a book and create it with the artwork and stuff with AI. So if 100 people listen to that talk, or 100,000 people listen to that talk, there'll suddenly be 100,000 new books, maybe. And there's just like so much content now, it becomes overwhelming. And then how do you then separate out? And like, I like what you're saying about
exactly. For us,